Hello everyone. I'm just gonna start with a quick introduction about myself. I'm a multidisciplinary artist, interior designer, and researcher in the arts of communication. And my artworks usually take a critical view on social and cultural issues. Now, I was selected by Waterloo Canada as the artist who is going to work on a participatory art project around the Litani River. So before I dive into the creation process, I want to begin with a quote that was the starting point for everything. When we try to pick out anything by itself, we find it hitched to everything in the universe. And this is a very powerful quote because nowadays everything is connected to everything. Like you cannot take an entity and just separate it and tackle it by itself. It has to be related and connected to its environment and any other criteria. So, as a quick overview about the Litani River, so the Litani River is the longest and largest river in Lebanon, and it extends from the west of Baalbek in the Bekaa Valley and flows into the Mediterranean Sea in the north of Tyre. Therefore, it has a great impact on the lives of the Lebanese people. So, I'm sure you have heard a thing or two about how Lebanon has been through a lot of crises, explosions, wars. So if we add that to, sorry, um, so if we add that to the emotional states that associated with the current Lebanese situation, meaning how Lebanese people are feeling about that, including disorientation, insecurity, and confinement, we get to the physical manifestation of waste in the Litani River. Therefore, it's the combination of the crisis and the feelings, negative feelings, that has led us to having waste in the Litani River and seeing the current Litani River as contaminated water and a muddled state, darkness, and underwater chaos. So, in order to like start to create this art project, and since it is a participatory art project, I decided to invite participants from Water Innovation Lab Lebanon, which my colleague Griwa will tell you more about in a few minutes. I invited them to reflect, verbalize, and record what comes to them in relation to the Litani River. Now, due to the COVID-19 and the lockdown restrictions, participants engaged through two video presentations that I created specifically for this project, one showing the Litani in its healthiest state, and the other one showing the Litani River in its most polluted figure. Now, after receiving many submissions, like I had many questions in mind, like how can I set up a virtual space that will help me visualize this complexity of the entanglement between the issues that Lebanon is going through and what is currently happening to the Litani River. Like, what can the Litani River tell us about the instability in Lebanon? So, the idea was to look at the Litani River in an abstract and the structured perspective by using lines and sounds and downhearted statements that submerge the viewer into a certain sequence of thinking. And after that, I decided to incorporate the solution as being the light being a major element in nature. And therefore, the rehabilitation phase happened in emergence with the light, which is, as I said, one of the main elements of nature. And here, the Litani River, it enters a new and clean phase built on positive affirmations. So briefly, the idea was to show how Lebanon's situation can be modified, and how certain patterns that emerge from the polluted water in the Litani River affect this transformation. And by seeing visualization that can help citizens build a better Lebanon and hopefully relinquish this toxic reasoning. And thank you. I'm open to any questions, any comments, if you guys have any.
Fantastic word, Yara. Thank you so much for sharing
Thank you.
this art piece. Um, Anyone has any questions or remarks regarding Yara's presentation or work? Any questions?
Yes. I think May has a question.
Yes, thank you, Yara, for this interesting video. And I would have liked to ask you, didn't you think of considering the opinions of those who lived in Litani when they were in welfare state, you know, enjoying the benefits of the Litani, and what are they suffering now from the pollution? Because as you know, there are a lot of problems there in terms of cancer. They used to live in the from the Litani resources. They used to plant their lands, and they were living in a very good conditions. Now, if you look at the situation in Litani along the basin, they are living in poor conditions. So I would have liked to hear, to reflect the voices of those people, يعني before, how the Litani was and after. Did you think about this approach?
Okay, thank you, May, for the question. It's a very, very interesting question. Now, we didn't think about it, but however, we had a challenge because of the COVID-19 and the lockdown restrictions. Like we had to limit our ability, like to communicate with these people, although they are a major asset to the continuation of the project and contribution in this project. However, we decided to just take the participants in the Water Innovation Lab Lebanon. And we did add an option. And if you go to the website, which we're going to share right now, there is an option for people to like add their voice in case they are living next to the Litani River or they experienced something that is related to the Litani River. So it was a very challenging project. I have to say that because we could not reach the people that are closer to the Litani River. So this is why I decided to adapt to the situation by creating only two videos that can show, that can, engage participants and letting them feel as if they are next to the Litani River. And, just to get the initial information that I need in order to get the base, at least, of the project. But however, I do feel that after hopefully the COVID-19 will be will be over, that we can continue with this project, and surely we will have the many comments from people living next to the Litani River. I'm sure this art project is not yet finished.